What's up, guys? I'm back. I'm back in a video today. Okay, folks. So I'm back in a video today, obviously. So right now, I'm gonna be doing an album review for some metal music, and why no, folks? Okay, so the band I got here, like the band I'm gonna be reviewing for YouTube, is Exodus and stuff, and the album I'm gonna be reviewing is the album called Temple of the Damned, and why no, folks? Okay, so talking about Exodus here, they're obviously a thrash metal band from California and stuff, and why no, folks, and what I'm looking at here. They were formed all the way back in 1979 and stuff, and that's what I'm looking at here. And boy, no, folks. Screw. Okay, so one thing I know for sure about Exodus is like history or whatever is that they're formed is Kirk Hammett started the band, and well, I know, folks, and what I'm looking at here, um he started the band, and then what I'm looking at here, he left, obviously. What I'm looking at here, he left in 1983, and why no, folks? This screw. Okay, so talk about this album I got here. Temple of the Damned. It was released what I'm looking at here. It was released February 2nd of 2004, and why no, folks? And it's the sixth album, and why no, folks? So, folks, in terms of the track list, I'm trying to get to the track list right now and stuff, and why no, folks? What I'm looking at here, there's 10 tracks on here, and why no, folks? And a total um album length, like the length of the album is a little over 54 minutes long and stuff, and why no, folks? Okay, so what I'm looking at here, there's a good amount of long, of not necessarily long tracks, but some of these songs are a bit some of these songs are over 5 minutes long and stuff, including the longest one being 7 minutes 39 seconds, and why no, folks? And folks, the longest song, like I said, it's 7 minutes and 40 seconds, and that song is called Forward March and stuff, and why no, folks? Okay, looking at the band members on here, I'm gonna get into my thoughts on the album after this, but band members are Steve Souza on vocals. We got the man Gary Holt on guitar, obviously. The guitar players are Gary Holt and Rick Honolt or something. Why no, folks? The guy on the bass is Jack Gibson. Jack Gibson, and Tom Hunting is the guy on the drums, and why no, folks? Okay, so time for my thoughts on the album. and what I thought of it. So first thing I noticed is that I'm gonna start off like with the first five songs and then move downwards. So going over some of the in terms of what I noticed in terms of the first five tracks. Basically all of the first five tracks except for one had a fast paced section in the songs. Like what I noticed is that there was lots of like fast playing and just like with the drums and just everything. Like one thing I want to say is the guy on the drums went off on this album. Like, one, folks, like the guy. I'd say the guy on the drums was the highlight of this album for me, and the guy on the bass too. Those two are the highlights on are the two highlights on the album for me. Like just the way they played and stuff. Like one, folks, and basically what I'm trying to say is all but one of the first five tracks are fast paced playing and one, folks. And then moving on to the last five tracks, a good amount of a good amount of the bottom half had like more of the songs were like mid tempo and stuff, but equally as like heavy and just brutal, I guess. Like one, folks. And the last two tracks on this album are like more on like the fast paced side and one, folks. And like I said, there's 10 tracks on here with a run length of 54 minutes, but like I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this album is a little too long and stuff. Like I'm definitely not saying this is a bad album. I'm definitely not saying it's a bad album. I think it's epic and stuff, but like for me it's a little too long. Some of the tracks, especially the longest song on this album, Forward March, which comes in at 7 minutes and 40 seconds basically. Like I feel like it's a little too long for my liking. Like in what I'm talking about is especially in that middle part of the song where they have like that big instrumental part with the guys solo with the I'm presuming the two guys soloing and stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel it's definitely great what they were doing. Like it definitely sounded good, but like I feel like they were soloing for a little bit too long and stuff. And I feel like the song could have been cut a good minute. It could have been a good minute shorter. Like if that was if the fifth song on this album was a minute shorter, then it might be my favorite track on the album. But what, folks? Just like basically, I'm trying to say is I feel like this album could have been shorter, but I'm not the one that wrote it, so what, folks? That's just my thoughts on it, and what, folks? And just overall, everybody went off, and like I was saying earlier, I really liked the guy on the drums and the bass player too. And the bass playing was the guy on the bass. His mix was his bass playing was in the mix, which was great. And folks. Okay, so talking about some of my favorite tracks on this album, I would say some of my favorites would have to be Scar Spangled Scar. I would say some of my favorite tracks would have to be Scar Spangled Banner and Blacklist. Like those would have to be some of my favorite tracks on the album. But overall, I thought the album was for the most part great from start to finish. And folks, right now this is basically when I'm going to be ending today's video off. Like I'm not going to go any further with today's video. I'm simply not, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video, and peace out, everybody.